You just spent $15,000 last month on Facebook ads and brought in 40 new customers. So why does Facebook's dashboard only show 22? Those missing 18 customers did happen, but Facebook has no idea. That gap is why campaigns stop working when you try to scale. Meta is only getting half of the information it needs. I'm Forrest. I run AdSet Digital. I do marketing revenue tracking and attribution for businesses spending six figures in ads each year. In a nutshell, I find where the data is broken, fix it, connect it so campaigns can actually work the way they're supposed to. CAPI setup is one of the most common things I work on for businesses spending too much money to not see results they should be. So let's get into what CAPI is, why it exists, and why it's the difference between businesses that can scale and businesses that hit a wall. First, some background on how Facebook tracking worked before any of this was an issue. For most of the history of Facebook advertising, the Meta Pixel did everything. The pixel is a small piece of code you put on your website. When someone lands on your thank you page or booking confirmation, the pixel fires and tells Facebook a sale or lead just happened. Facebook ties that back to whichever ad brought that person there. Simple. It worked fine for years. The problem is that the pixel runs inside the person's browser, whether it's Chrome, Safari, Firefox, whatever they're using, and starting around 2021, browsers started blocking it by default. iOS 14 came out with a prompt that asks iPhone users whether they want to let apps track them. Only about a third say yes. Safari started blocking tracking code automatically. Firefox and Brave do the same. Regular ad blockers wipe out the pixel entirely. And even without all that, some people close the page before it fully loads or they're on a bad connection. In all those cases, a real sale or booking happened and Facebook never found out. When you add it up, most accounts are only getting 40 to 70% of their actual sales reported back to Facebook. The rest just disappear. The money came in and Facebook has no idea. This matters a lot more than most people realize. Facebook's ad system doesn't just show ads to everyone, it learns who buys from you and then goes looking for more people like them. Not physically looks like them, but looks like them from the thousands of data points. Every time Meta picks who to show your ad to, it's asking itself, does this person look like someone else who's bought from this business before? The answer it gets is only as good as the sales data Meta has to learn from. If it's only seeing 40% of your real buyers, it builds its picture of who buys from an incomplete sample. Then Meta goes out looking for people who look like that incomplete sample. That's why audiences that used to work have gotten weaker. That's why scaling your budget often makes cost per result go up instead of staying flat. Facebook runs out of good matches fast because it learned from a partial list to begin with. This is what CAPI solves. CAPI stands for Conversions API. Instead of relying on the browser to tell Facebook when a sale happens, your own backend integrations sends that information directly. Your server isn't affected by iPhone privacy settings, Safari's blocking, or ad blockers. If a sale happened and your system recorded it, you can send that to Facebook regardless of what was going on in the customer's browser. How you set it up depends on what tools you use. GoHighLevel, Shopify, and WooCommerce all have built-in connections. Meta also released a one-click setup option recently that doesn't need a developer. Both try to report the same conversion, and Facebook uses a matching ID on each report to recognize they're the same event and count it once. That matching has to be configured correctly because Facebook won't flag it if something's off. But when it's right, you get back the visibility you lost without inflating your numbers. Once CAPI is running, you can check how well it's working through a score called Event Match Quality in Facebook's Events Manager. The Event Match Quality score tells you how well the customer data you're sending, email address, phone number, etc., matches up with actual Facebook profiles. A high score means Facebook can accurately connect your sales back to the ads that drove them. A low score usually means something is missing or set up wrong, worth checking even if you think copy is working, because the score shows what's actually getting through, not just what you configured. So now Facebook has a more complete picture of your buyers. So what do you get? Because we're not doing this just for the fun of it. Meta finds better matches faster too. Scaling gets a lot less painful. My personal favorite, you are now able to create look-alike audiences from your Pixel CAPI events. This is my personal favorite because the audience is updating itself as you send more events. Let me know in the comments if you'd want to see another video about how this works. You put more budget in, it finds more people who look like your real buyers, and your cost per result stays stable instead of climbing every time you try to grow. 9 times out of 10, you will do a big drop in your cost per results too. But the goal is to keep a stable cost per result long term, not just a big drop in the first 30 days. One thing worth saying directly, having CAPI set up is not the same as having it work. Most accounts I look at have some version of it in place. What people don't do is go back and check it. The matching system that prevents double counting can break without any warning. No error message. You have to go look. In Events Manager, you can see how many events are coming in, what percentage are being matched correctly, and what your quality score is. Those 3 things together tell you whether the setup is working or just sitting there. One more thing worth knowing, Meta shut down their old system for sending sale data directly last year. Copy is now the only way to do it. It's not optional anymore. If you set this up at some point and never went back to check it, that's the first thing I'd look at before anything else in your account, before changing your ads, your audiences, or your budget. All of that runs on the information you're feeding Facebook. If that information is wrong or incomplete, the decisions you make from it will be too. The reason I call CAPI the keystone is that everything else in a meta campaign depends on it. Your audiences, your bids, your ad tests, it all runs on the sales data you're sending. Facebook. CAPI is what makes that data accurate. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and let me know what other questions you have. It's super helpful for me to know how to better help you.